The internet giant Google, which receives millions of search queries every day, has revealed its annual survey of the most popular online search terms in 2011. The list is drawn up from anonymized search data over the past 12 months, but excludes searches for adult content. The year of Prince William and Kate Middleton's marriage saw one royal wedding as the fastest rising search term in the UK, followed by two technological trends, the yet-to-be-released iPhone 5 and the football game FIFA 12. No surprise that celebrities generate heavy traffic, but we are perhaps not as obsessed with gossip as we might have been. For example, the alternative vote, which was the subject of a referendum back in May, topped a list of what is searches. This was followed by a hunger for information about food, with users typing what is scampi, as well as what are truffles. Google also found a big appetite for exam tips. How to revise came top of the how-to list, just ahead of how to snog. Train tickets were the most searched for tickets, and cheap flights the most commonly sought after bargain. So what does this tell us about modern Britain and the internet, if anything at all? I'm joined now by the celebrity writer Ashley Pearson and by Paul Allen, editor of Computer Active magazine. Do you think, particularly given that they've taken away adult content, which we know to be a major driver of the internet, that this does tell us anything about who we are?
I think it gives us a little bit of a snapshot, but one of the things that we need to remember about this report is that it's generally about the fastest rising search terms that have been popular. So, for example, the royal wedding is going to be popular in the year when there's a royal wedding, and you know, the games that are popular, for example, FIFA 12, people are looking for rumours and just interesting tidbits about those things.
Ashley, we're notoriously thought to be rather bad lovers, the Brits. This how to snog's rather an alarming question, isn't it?
Yes, I would think so. I think it depends on what age the person is who's actually Googling something like that, hopefully older than younger, I guess, rather. Look, people are interested in pop culture, and I think Google is a fantastic way to see the subjects that people secretly maybe want to know about, but don't want to maybe admit that they want to know more about.
Most of it seems to me to be rather obvious. I mean, the tips on exams. I mean, even if I'd gone looking there trying to help my offspring pass sort of various things, that is pretty obvious, isn't it?
It is, and I think that's one of the problems with this report, which I think is actually, you know, a bit of a laugh at the end of the year. When people are actually looking for more complex information online, I mean, one of the things that I noticed here is that there's no mention of the Arab Spring, there's no mention of the death of
Bin Laden.
Bin Laden, yeah, for example. And I think when people are searching Google for that kind of information, they're using more complex search terms. This really is just picking out the first thing that pops into people's head. And as I said, you know, as Ashley said, it gives us a really good insight into pop culture, not necessarily into the real mainstream culture.
There is surely one intriguing finding, and that is that given that the Leveson inquiry is going on, and that's all about gossip, gossip is not a major driver on the web.
Well, I think most people who rely on the internet for their gossip are going to certain sites that they check all the time in blogs where they're getting the up-to-date news.
So they don't need Google to search for it?
Perhaps not. I think what we did see when we saw that Kim Kardashian was the #1 searched for celebrity, which surprised a lot of people because she's certainly not the biggest A-list name out there.
Could you perhaps help us with who she is?
Well, of course, that's what I'm here for. She's a reality star who's kind of been foisted on the world without any discernible talent.
There's an American reality
Absolutely.
show.
American
what is the reality show?
The show is called it's the Kardashian Show. It's a reality show about the family, and they have several spin-offs. Kourtney and Khloe Take Miami. You know, this sister and this. They have all these spin-offs. But you have a family. The girls have no discernible talent or ability. Nobody's an actor. Nobody sings. They just kind of appear in, you know, bikini catalogs, and they have famous boyfriends. But they've been kind of produced as a mass-marketed product. And I think the reason they are Googled so much is a lot of people in England are wondering, who on earth are these people that I'm supposed to believe are famous and important because you're telling me that's what I should think?
Well, more practically, the train ticket thing is no surprise at all. It's rather intriguing that the queues and the whole process of actually getting a ticket practically are so bad that people, in fact, want to go to the web to get them fixed some other way.
Absolutely, and that's one of the great things about the internet is that it gives people choices, it gives people options, and it's been really great to see that, you know, the number of older people, for example, using the internet in the past 5 years has soared. because there's so much out there. I know that people are still worried to a certain extent about the, some of the security and the privacy issues, and I think a lot of people still kind of think that the internet and particularly things like Facebook and Twitter are frivolous and celebrity-led. Well, there's room for everything, though, and there's room for good information, there's room for light entertainment.
Just in case people think this is product placement, this is only a bit part player. I mean, if from your analysis, from where you sit with a computer magazine, what do you think the omissions are? What isn't being mentioned in this list that you think probably ought to be?
Well, for example, I mean, we were saying earlier about how complex search terms actually root out some of the more complex and interesting stories. You noted in your introduction to the fact that adult website and some of the more controversial searches are missing. For example, clearly there are lots of people searching for things that are illegal, whether that's to do with drugs, whether that's to do with terrorism, probably to a lesser extent. It's certainly to do with all kinds of criminal behaviour.
You write about celebrities. Who's missing?
Well, I thought it was interesting that Victoria Beckham was #2 behind someone who's not really a celebrity, shouldn't be. Who's missing? I was surprised to see that Angelina Jolie or Brad Pitt or Jennifer Aniston, maybe even Cheryl Cole, Simon Cowell weren't a little higher.
They're all yesterday's people.
Maybe I was surprised they weren't a little higher on the list.
We're going to have to leave it there, but thank you both very warmly for coming in.